Glory be to the Most High. You heard it. All praise, honor, all the glory. Happy Sabbath, everybody out there, right? Let's have a little discussion, you know. Hang out a little bit on the Sabbath, you know what I'm talking about. That's all. Nothing too deep, you know what I'm saying? We just gonna hang out. We just gonna come before the screen on the Sabbath, right? Pistachio juice right here. You know, now that I have no potassium restriction, right? Now that the kidneys are back online, which they said was impossible. I'm gonna start another page, right? Start a separate page. I had like 3 pages, 4. This one for this, the music, one regarding how to get off of dialysis, one about NDEs, near death experiences, right? Just because the information is hard to come by, right? Get out here, you want to search, you get hit with this new situation or whatever is going on. And it's like you get on this YouTube and nobody is talking about it anywhere, right? And of course, we have cracked this Bible, you know, and we found the deceptions that are in it, things of a nature like this, you know. I knew it wasn't added up. I knew things wasn't adding up, fam. And you know it too. You know it wasn't adding up too. And who would have known we wasn't gonna get it all out the same book? And that's what he has brought me to understand. You know, he has brought me to understand that the Roman Catholic Church put those scrolls together to make what they made. You know, they don't want us understanding nothing. So they made everything complicated, you know? And the people who you see fighting so hard to make it make sense, these people are just as untrue. They're just as untrue as the people who don't want to see us understand things, you know? And once you latch on to this lifestyle, you're going to ask yourself, why are these people fighting so hard to make this blatant lie true, that's easy to see that is false, right? And you'll be able to see. You'll be able to see why. Look at what kind of person they are. Right? Look at the other areas of their life. They're fake. Fake dudes like fake scriptures, you know what I'm saying? Fake dudes like lying. And they like deceiving and they like being deceived. It's something in it for them to latch on to that Pauline doctrine. But we ain't gonna do too much talking about that, right? Trying to understand things, but in real life, it's really not hard to understand. From the outside looking in, it's very hard to understand when you apply the rules of true-hearted people to those who are not true. You will get lost because the reason why they do what they do and say what they say, it's hidden, right? But it's really simple. See, go to it. It's not complicated that they could just tell the truth. Hey man, I was tripping off of this, that, and the other. Right? They can't do that. They gotta play a big game with you and scramble your head up. But let's go ahead and jump off this boat and start swimming. Right? As you can see, the title, The Last Supper, was a vegan meal, fam. Right? And who did Christ leave the church with? Was it Peter? Right? Was there a misunderstanding or did somebody lie? What is it? But this is a cold world, fam. You're gonna find that out if you don't know it already. This is a cold world, y'all. And a liar, what a liar has done, they have put their own desires over the top of everything. Right? Nothing is more important than the wants and needs of a liar. They have something that they're after, and they're willing to deceive as many people to get it, right? And there's no limit to the extent where they'll go to, right? So let's check this out. The childhood and youth of Jesus the Christ. He delivered a lion from the hunters. Remember, we somewhat kind of read that. We read that our last time coming before the screen. We're not going to read all of that. What we're going to read is this first verse right here. Now, Joseph and Mary, his parents, Christ's parents, right? Joseph and Mary went up to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. So they must have had a lamb, right? Let's keep reading. And they observed the feast after the manner, keywords after the manner of their brethren. They observed it the way their brothers did. And how was that? Who abstained from bloodshed. So, right? They wasn't slaughtering no lamb, fam. Okay? And the eating of flesh. They abstained from bloodshed, so they didn't kill nothing. And the eating of flesh. They didn't eat no flesh, fam. And from strong drink. They did not do that. And if they're not doing it for the Passover, then they're not doing it at any other time of the year, right? They did not eat meat. They did not kill animals. You got to ask yourself that. And you got to also ask yourself who would fight to keep on killing, fam? Who would have a problem with that and who wouldn't see a problem, right, in stopping? That should be cold turkey. Oh, the Father don't want us killing animals, right? That should be cut and dry, fam. Oh, okay. When I really thought about that, I said, oh, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Of course he don't want us slaughtering, right? Of course not. Of course he don't want us slaughtering his other beings. Reading on, and when he was 12 years old, right? The last age before you hit accountability, right? He went to Jerusalem with them after the custom of the feast, right? But this is what we want right here, right? The feast of the Passover, and they observed the feast after the manner of their brethren. Who was their brethren? The Nazarenes, the Essenes, the Ebionim, okay? Who did what? Abstain from bloodshed and the eating of flesh, all right? And that's what we want from there. Where do we go to get what that actual dinner was? The last Passover supper, right? LXXV, which is L is 50. Each of those X's are 10, and that V is a 5. So that's telling us that it's chapter 75, fam. 50, 60, 75. Right? Lection 75, the last Paschal supper. That means Passover, right? It's the last supper, fam. And at evening, right, the master cometh into the house, and there are gathered with him the 12 and their fellows, Peter and Jacob, and Thomas and John, Simon, Matthew and Andrew, Nathaniel, right? James and Thaddeus, Jude and Philip, and their companions. And there was also Judas Iscariot, right? Iscariot, whichever way you want to say it. I've seen it without the E on the end. It's up to you, right? Who by men was numbered with the 12 to the time when he should be manifested. Okay, so we're calling one of the 12 right now until he about to get ready to get found out, right? 2, and they were all clad mean dressed, and they were all dressed in garments of white linen, pure and clean. The linen is the righteousness of the saints, and each had the color of his tribe, right? So we know that's 12 colors, you know, or however that worked out, you know. I'm sure he didn't pick one of each tribe, you know, but we know we got those 12 stones. We got those 12 stones, so whatever color matched their tribe, that's what they had on, right? But the master was clad in his pure white robe, all over, without seam or spot, so you couldn't even see where at all. It was just white, right? That's a nice garment, okay? 3, And there arose contentions among them as to which of them should be esteemed the greatest. Right? Wherefore he said unto them, he that is greatest among you, let him be as he that does serve. Right? So that's how the question arises. Who's who? Who's who, right? And that brings the question. Let's turn that red. Right? But who was greatest? Was it Peter? Who did he leave everything with? That's what we were taught, right? We were taught Peter. Right here in this Matthew 16 and 18. And I say unto thee that thou art Peter. Right? And upon this rock will I build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Right? So Peter's church, everybody looked at that and said, oh, so Peter's the one, right? And they went after Peter's church, to uphold Peter's church as the church of Christ, right? But we was off with that. The true answer to that question is here in the book that they call Gnostic, right? And the heresy and all of these type words. It's in the Gospel of Thomas, saying number 12, and it says, the disciples said to Jesus, we know you're going to leave us. Who will lead us? Jesus said unto them, wherever you go, you'll go to James the Just, his blood brother. That's who. Okay? For whom heaven and earth came into being. Okay, so this land called earth was given to James. Now, this world didn't count James as nothing, right? Because his doctrine and who he was, they can't eat off that, fam. Who could they eat off of? Paul. And his way of doing things. And the whole blueprint of a church was Paul's, right? And how to be unrighteous and unjust. That's why these churches is dogging you out, right? Paul gave them the right to do that. It ain't about your soul, right? Nah, put your booty in that chair. I want power over your family. Yeah, your family is mine now. Yeah, you could be the man of your house until I knock on the door, right? I'm coming in here. I'm kicking my feet up. I'm deacon, officer, elder, such and such. And I'm kicking my feet up on your coffee table. And bring me my food. And when I leave, I'm taking some of your pocketbook with me. I hope you don't mind that, right? They want the control over your household and your wallet, right? And these guys bring it to them on their knees, man, right? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, man. So that's why they love Paul. Paul set that up for that to go like that. And whoever you guys may be who heard me say that, get loose, fam. Get free. Get free. Get away from there. Abandon all cults. Okay? Abandon. My fault, y'all. I am getting kicked out. I am getting kicked out. They only do us like this. They do not promote us. They do not put us in the algorithm. And they do not let us have a smooth broadcast. I'm pretty sure I'm breaking up on your side and everything else, right? And I would do the same thing if I was them, right? Because this brings the end of their rule. So I understand why they would want to, make sure we get a bumpy ride. But Christ left everything with James the just. You see that? Okay, he is Christ's successor. He is the one who took over for Christ when Christ left. It was not Peter. So what was Christ talking about when he said upon this rock? Let's read it. Matthew 16:13, right? When Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, okay? This is a place in Galilee, okay, northern Israel, near the Jordan River, okay? And that is when he got his doctrine fresh and he came up out that Jordan from his baptism. That's the place where he started his church. That's where he started preaching at, right? Says it here, and upon this rock, okay, this piece of land. What piece of land? Right here. Caesarea Philippi. Okay? Philippi, however you want to pronounce it. But it's in Galilee. It's near northern Israel. It's right at the base, right? Where the Jordan is. All right? It's at the base of Mount Hermon. Okay? That's where he got started at. He came about that water from his baptism. He started preaching. Okay, that's where his word went out from. So that's the on this rock that he's talking about. He's talking about the place. Okay? He about to get busy, y'all. That's why his next question was, he asked his disciples saying, who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? Oh, he getting ready to come about with it, right? He getting started, y'all. Who do y'all think I am? And who do they say I am out there? He knowing he the Son of Man. He knowing he is the Christ, okay? And he getting ready to go in. He getting ready to do what? It's right here. Build my church, right? Right? Yes, yes, yes. All right. Back to the Gospel of the Holy 12, chapter 75. Right? Verse 4, and Jesus said with desire, right? Have I desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer? Okay, we at the Last Supper, right? He getting ready to undergo it. He getting ready to get up on that Calvary, right? And to institute the memorial of my oblation. That's a drink offering, right? For the service and salvation of all. Okay? For the service and salvation of all. Now, is that saying that his blood is needed? No. Okay? Has nothing to do with his blood. The Most High never needed any blood. Why is the Most High going to create something and give it to you so that you could kill it and give it back to him? What kind of sense that make? Why would he need blood from your hands to forgive you? Right? And that's why the people who slipped through the cracks of this, it happened because you wasn't making no sense with them. We lost a lot of souls that we couldn't hang on to in this truth because you guys stopped making sense, man. It don't make no sense. And you know, it can't it can't be from God if it doesn't make sense. And that's all it takes for somebody to figure things out and say, yeah, I don't want to go this direction. Let me get to some other type of lifestyle, right? Because this ain't it. Father ain't the author of confusion, right? If it's confusing you, get away from there, okay? And that doctrine that they want us to stick our nose in the KJV and understand, it's different from life, right? What's going on in the world don't equal what's going on in that book. Now, why would the Most High create a world that's contrary to everything that he says? And in order for you to believe anything that's in this book, you got to pull yourself out of what's in your natural world and go to La La Land somewhere that don't feel good to people, and it shouldn't. Your God should not contradict your book that's in your hand. And I'm going to tell you why it does that. Because you got liars in there and people with ulterior motives, right? That's why they have jumped in between you and God with confusion and with stories that don't make sense, right? But we're on another level now, okay? They cannot stop us. They cannot hold us. So these people who don't get it, don't get mad at them. Because the Most High did not pick them. He picked you. He picked your mind to understand. And the other people that got other things more important than him, if they want to make a book more important than him, he going to leave them sitting right there. Right? And a lot of people, their God is their belly. Okay? They gave it one thought. Oh, I got to give up this meat. I ain't going to be able to do it. At that very moment, your stomach becomes an idol. You know, you can't let nothing in this earth keep you from that kingdom. You understand? Oh man, when we get there, nothing's going to be restricted, right? Everything is going to be for the taking. He says this. We're not going to have any restrictions over there. He's going to spoil us, right? This place here is a test, fam. If you don't pass it, hey, if something more important is here for you, he's going to leave you here. And that's what these guys is doing. They don't really want to give up this world for the Most High, right? Because it's cut and dry. But let's read. Let's read. I'm right here. For behold, the hour cometh when the Son of Man shall be betrayed into the hands of sinners. Okay? And one of the 12 said unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered, He to whom I give the sop, the same is he. So that means whoever I sop some of this gravy up with this bread and give it to, that's who's guilty. And Iscariot, who is Jesus, or who is Judas, Salakia, said unto him, Master, behold the unleavened bread the mingled wine and the oil and the herbs. But where is the lamb that Moses commanded? Judas want that lamb. Y'all see that? He want that meat. Where is this meat at? Okay? Where is this dead flesh animal that got his throat cut? Okay? Check it out. And Iscariot said unto him, Master, he hear this going on and he know he guilty. The one that turned him in, right? It didn't even faze him, y'all. It didn't even faze him. He turned right back around and asked Christ, what? And Iscariot said unto him, Master, behold the unleavened bread. So I see the unleavened bread, and I see the what? The mingled wine. It's telling you what the Passover dinner was and the Last Supper was, fam. It was unleavened bread. It was mingled wine because they didn't drink. You know what that is? It's wine that got so much water poured in it, it ain't even wine no more. It's back to like grape juice, right? The mingled wine and the oil. That's what they was doing. They was dipping bread in oil, and to this day they did that. You go into like Barron's or Sprouts or something, and they got the different infused oils, and they give you a little piece of bread so you could taste the oil. What kind of oil you get? And you put the oil on the bread. They was doing this way back there, right? The mingled wine and the oil and the herbs. They had the bitter herbs there. But where is the lamb that Moses commanded, right? Where's the meat at? I see everything but the meat. What's going on here? Says Judas, right? For Judas had brought the lamb, but Jesus had forbidden that it should be killed. Not that it should be eaten, not that it shouldn't be cooked, but that it shouldn't even be killed, fam. So the lamb that Judas brought was still alive somewhere running around, right? Now freeze. Luke 22 and 7 through 8, right? Then came the day of unleavened bread, when the Passover must be what? Killed, right? And he sent Peter and John, saying, go and prepare us the Passover, that we may eat. It didn't say nothing. Okay, this is the regular old book of Luke, which we know Luke was Paul's disciple, right? So what you see in the New Testament after the death of Christ is Paul putting things back together where we could go on forward from even back then all the way till today, missing the deception of this sacrifice, okay? He made everything optional, okay? In Galatians 2, in 1 Timothy chapter 4, right? In chapters like this, he made it optional. Hey, you want to eat meat? Eat meat. The subject is things being sacrificed onto idols. Hey, you can eat some sacrifice onto an idol. Don't worry about that, right? If you want to eat it, eat it. If you don't, don't, right? For your conscience sake, don't eat it. But for the person who you're visiting, for their sake, if that's going to bother your that's what he's saying, for conscience sake, for your mind's sake. If it's going to bother you that you did it against them, don't do it, right? If you're known for being the person that don't eat that way, you don't want that weighing on their heart. Hey, he was over here eating steak, man. You don't want to put that on them. That's for their conscience sake. But if it's going to kill you, then don't eat it. And that's what he's saying. That's what he kind of did. He kind of made it optional, right? This is his book. I'm getting into it with these guys out here because they don't know Paul wrote these books, fam. Okay? The book of Luke is not written by Luke. You have to go and get Luke's separate gospel. Okay? And then you will see his story start changing. And then you'll be able to take the knowledge from what Luke said in his separate gospel. You'll be able to go take that back into the New Testament and see where Paul lied. And these guys won't do that. And you won't spot these lies that Paul is telling unless you do that, fam. And he's addressing the same situation, so you know it's true. Right? But Luke 22 and 7 through 8 says, then came the day of unleavened bread, when the Passover must be killed. And he sent Peter and John, saying, go and prepare us the Passover, that ye may eat, or that we may eat. But guess what? That lamb didn't make it. That lamb didn't make it to the table, y'all. Precept. Mark 14 and 12 through 16. And the first day of the unleavened bread, when they killed the Passover, okay, now they killed it, right? Did they kill it or did they not? It should have said the same thing in every precept. Okay? But you see, they didn't give that up right here. Okay? When the Passover must be killed. If it wasn't for this, okay, for Judas had brought the lamb and Jesus had forbidden that it should be killed. They left that off. See what I'm saying? And the first day of the unleavened bread, when they killed the Passover, his disciples said unto him, where wilt thou, right, that we go and prepare that thou mayest eat the Passover? 13. And he sendeth forth two of his disciples and said unto them, go ye into the city, and there shall meet you a man bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him. Okay, he's going to show y'all where to go. Now, they done built a whole doctrine off of that. Call him the water bearer, who is the Aquarius, right? The picture of water bearer. They done built the whole religion off of that, fam. So you have to watch out. Nah, don't give it more than it says there. You meet the man with the pail of water, and that's who's right. That's who's going to lead you to where we're going to have this secret Passover, right? That's all it means. It don't mean you're meeting no man of Aquarius who's walking you into a new age, okay? This is a literal book, right? Matthew 26 and 17 through 19. Now, the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? 18. And he said, go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, the master saith, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. So you see how, it's only one time out of what? How many precepts? One, two, three, right? It's only once that they mentioned anything about killing the Passover, fam. What is that telling you? It didn't really happen, right? Or else it'll be one story. It'll be one story, fam, right? It happened like this, period. They leaving it on, they putting it off, they putting it back on, they leaving it off. But see, you got to go to this extra biblical text right here, and it'll tell you the real. So it pays for you to come into these books and read them, fam. This book right here, Gospel of the Holy 12, okay? Little bit of candy, This one right here. This is Peter's real account, fam. The Clementine homilies. How we should record our business, okay? And our workings and our dealings. Christ said in the book of John, okay, don't believe no man telling you no story by himself. And that's exactly what they did with Paul. Christ said, even I, the Son of Man, if I tell you a story of myself, don't believe me. He said, so I had John write out my portion of a story, right? Even Christ had to do this. So all of them accounts of Paul that you're going to deal with, that's him being his own witness. And you cannot do that, okay? You can't do that. Now, where is it? Let's go to it really quick. Really quick. Okay, it was John 5. Let's grab that and pull that in here. Real quick for a moment. Let's pull this in here. Right? Where we at? Let's take it down before we get back to the Gospel of the Holy 12. Okay. Blow that up a little bit. And it says, right? Christ's words. Red letters. Okay. If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. We reading that the same, right? If I bear witness of myself, Christ talking now, my witness is not true. There is another that bears witness of me. And I know that the witness which he witnesses of me is true. And who was that? Ye sent unto John, and he bear witness unto the truth. So, right? Paul can't bear witness of himself. That's what this book is. The Clementine Homilies. You want the book of Peter? Not if you ain't read this. Okay? It's the Clementine Homilies. You ain't read that, you don't know the first lick about how Peter really feels. Okay? Now, Clement followed Peter around and wrote down everything that he saw. Okay? And that's the way you did it, as Christ just stated here. Okay? Because when you do something good, it might have been a 6, but you're going to tell it as a 10 because you're talking about yourself, right? Or you might have done something that was pretty bad. But that's all it was, just a little bit bad, you know. You ain't going to crush yourself too bad, right? Yeah, I did that thing, but it wasn't that bad. Nah, that was pretty bad, my brother. Okay? You're not going to be truthful on the proper scale. You feel what I'm saying? So, and if you should write a record on yourself, let it be known that this is an autobiography, right? Not a biography. A biography is written by somebody else examining you, right? Yes, yes, yes. Let's go back to it. And Iscariot said also, or said unto him, Master, behold, the unleavened bread, the mingled wine, which is wine and water, okay? Watered down wine till all the potency is gone, and the oil and the herbs. You're looking at what the Passover dinner was, okay? And how Christ celebrated it. Why? Because it's up here. Mary and Joseph raised him this way, right? Now Joseph and Mary, his parents, went up to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover, right? And they observed the feast after the manner of their brethren who abstained from bloodshed. Okay, he was raised like that, all right? They abstained from bloodshed and the eating of flesh and from strong drink. That's why the wine was mingled and watered down. Y'all see that? Now, who do y'all believe? Okay, we had Christ at the Passover in the KJV chowing down on some lamb and turning fish, right, into enough to feed 5,000 and all of this, right? Oh, fish for everybody, right? Fish, fish. Why you think they did that, fam? Oh, but he fed them fish. We're going to come forward with the quail deception too, you know? The quail deception in the Old Testament. Oh, man, it's a couple of ways that could have went. And none of them are good for the people who receive the quail, if they receive some quail, okay? But oh man, we cracking this book, we tearing this book up, and these people are getting mad at us for cracking the book, fam. Do you serve the Most High or a book? Because if so, that's idolatry, fam. Shouldn't be nothing attached to your worship. Okay? We gonna let the rest move around. We want the Most High, right? We want the Most High and the Most High only. If someone wants to get in the way of the Most High, then we gonna drop whatever is getting in the way, right? We're never gonna choose what's getting in the way over the true character and mindset of the Most High. And that's what these guys are doing, you know? But here it is. Let's read some more, right? He names off everything was on that Passover table: the unleavened bread, the mingled wine, the oil, the herbs. But where's the lamb? That who commanded? Moses commanded. No, he did not. You're going to find out that that was Aaron. Aaron would not stop messing up, y'all. He would not stop messing up, and they actually had to kill Aaron on the top of a hill, if that part's true. You know, if that part's true, because I can't hear the Most High ordering the death of anything or anybody. Okay, he did not do that. Okay, he's pro-life. He's not going to create a death. Now, will he lock you up? Yeah. Slide him some food under the door? Yeah, but don't kill him. But keep him from where he could do any damage. I believe he made a jail. I believe he did that. Right? But where is the lamb that Moses commanded, which he did not? If anybody commanded it out of that circle, you better believe it was Aaron. And we have Aaron doing this type of stuff. And through Aaron is the first way that these sacrifices entered into the priesthood, fam. Okay? And he the one had them break off their earrings and melt that gold down and make that calf and everything. Okay? All that, fam. For Judas had brought the lamb, but Jesus had forbidden that it be killed. He ain't killing, he ain't slitting the throat or nothing. Not our Christ. You understand that? Verse 7, and John spake in the spirit, saying, behold, the Lamb of God. He made a joke out of it. Behold, the Lamb of God, the good shepherd, which giveth his life for the sheep. Oh, man. Oh, man. The irony, right? We getting into it, y'all. Okay? And Judas was troubled at these words because he knew he had sold Christ out and Christ was going down that night, right? For he knew that he should betray him. But again, Judas said, Master, is it not written in the law? He's stuck on this lamb, y'all. He's stuck on this lamb, okay? Like white on rice, okay? It is not written in the law that a lamb must be, is it not written in the law that a lamb must be slain for the Passover within thy gates? Right? Hey, and Jesus answered, if I am lifted up on the cross, then indeed shall the lamb be slain. Whoa. Whoa. Are you getting this, fam? Yeah, he was put up there. And guess what? They killed his legacy. They killed his word. And 2,000 years ago till today, we went on doing what? Slaughtering and slaying lambs. Did we not? So the Father put a curse in them joints, y'all. You could slaughter a lamb and eat it if you want to. It's just going to become cancer in your body, okay? It's just going to become inflammation in your body, okay? It's just going to become high blood pressure in your body, all right? It's just going to become diabetes in your body, all right? Stop playing with me. We dying left and right out here. This stuff is killing everybody. Who would have thought? Who would have thought it was this? Right? Everything that kills you, they put it in. Everything that sits you down. You might have not have ate no meat, right? But you ate some grease or something, this stuff you deep frying and all of that, it's in there. Okay? These broths and things that you use, it's a dead animal in there. It don't matter what form you get it in, they're gonna make sure you get some. Some of this stuff, it's a powder that you shake, right? In different tallows and ghees and different, right? It's all kind of ways. They're gonna make sure you get some of that dead sacrifice in your meal, one way or another. And guess what it's gonna do? It's gonna clog your organs up and it's going to put you down. Okay? It's gonna put you down. What's the wages of sin? Right? Okay? If I am lifted up on the cross, then indeed shall the Lamb be slain. And it was. He was lifted up on that cross. We've been slaying lambs since. But woe unto him by whom it is delivered into the hands of the slayers. It were better of him had he not been born. Now, if you have felt the pain of any of this, I pray you don't, fam. I pray you never feel the pain that comes with being ill. Okay? When you're out in public somewhere and you go down on your knees because of this pain. Okay? And you know a man don't want to be embarrassed. A man don't want to look weak. A man don't want to do none of this kind of stuff. A man don't want to show you that he's in any pain. But have you ever seen that brother on his hands and knees in the middle of a Walmart and the ambulance got to come? He didn't want you to see that. He couldn't walk. He couldn't walk, fam. He couldn't, it couldn't have went no other way. That's the way it went. Okay? And he went down. Oh, I'm going down. Let me grab this ground, right? I don't know if y'all ever seen that. I don't know if y'all ever felt that. I can't take another step. I'm crumbling right here, right? I don't know if you know about that, but let's read some more. Let me tell you why that is, okay? Freeze, as you see. Kapow, let's turn the freeze red right there. Kaboom, okay? That's orange. That's orange. We want red. Kapow, freeze it. John 10 and 10 through 11. Oh, man. Oh, man, y'all. I don't even know if I should do this. I don't even know if I should do this. Y'all all right? Y'all okay out there? Y'all willing to move forward on this thing? Okay? Y'all ready to touch the sky and become one with the Most High? Because that's what time it is right now. Right? John 10 and 10 through 11. Right? The thief cometh not. Okay, who is the thief? If you rewind this in John 10, he's a thief and a robber who climbeth up another way, right? Who is he talking about? Paul and all that came after him, fam. He's the thief and the robber that came up another way. You see, he didn't go through Christ's successor, right? Who is who? James the Just, right there. James the Just, y'all, that's his successor. That's who had the disciple stamp. Now, Paul went the opposite way from James for 14 years. 14, operating as a disciple, y'all, going around taking over the world of Gentiles, okay, as an apostle, and hadn't even tapped in with James yet. Okay, so he telling you left and right in these scriptures who the thief was going to be. We're going to do one on that alone. I'm going to show you guys all of the ways that Christ was talking directly about Paul 30 years before Paul showed up on the scene. Christ was walking around preaching and telling y'all what to look for and what to watch out for. And he describes to a T Paul, y'all, by name and everything. Okay? Paul is the only one you get by name, y'all. Okay? There is nobody else in the book that fits this criteria. Okay? Paul fit the criteria of what Christ was talking about the way Judah fit Deuteronomy 28. Okay? If you don't see it, it's because you don't want to. All right? But that's the thief that he's talking about, right? Now, the thief cometh not, but to do what? But to steal, and to do what? And to kill. Now, freeze. That kill here means what? Kill. It's in the book 8 times, is that. Sacrifice. It's in there as 3 times. To do sacrifice, it's in there twice under that name. And to slay. To slay, it's in there once under that time. So it's in there 6 times total under slay and sacrifice, right? It's in there 8 times under kill. Okay? Now, if you killing something, you are killing an animal or a man. Right? But the word kill, it literally means what? To sacrifice. Okay, Strong's number G23 and 80. Okay, theo in the Greek. Okay, it means to sacrifice. It literally means to sacrifice it, fam. To immolate it. Okay, to slay and to kill. It is what? Of the Paschal lamb. That means Passover right there. Okay? Of the Paschal lamb. Y'all. So anytime you see kill, which is 8 times in this book, it's talking about the slaughter of a lamb. That's the third. That's the third definition, is a slaughter. Right? Now, G2380 means kill, and this could be of man or animal. Man, remember that, fam. Man or an animal. Okay? Let's read on. Verse 10. The thief come not, but to steal, to kill, which is the sacrifice, and to destroy. That's to put it down. If you destroy it, it ain't getting back up. It's over. When it fall, it's done. That's what it is to destroy something. But guess what? Before you destroyed it, it was just fine. Okay? It was in working order, doing what it was made to do. But if you destroy it, okay, it don't work no more. Right? And that's what the thief come to do. He's a thief. Okay? Something had so much potential before he came. He either stole it, he took it, it didn't belong to him, but it belongs to him now. And he gone. Right? That's to steal it. To kill it, he slit the throat of it. Ha! Or he destroyed it. And that's I don't want it. You're not gonna have it. That's the destroy, right? I'm gonna just stomp on it. I'm gonna stomp it through the ground. It's gonna be no more good, right? So it doesn't even always have to benefit anybody. He would rather it not benefit anybody. That's what it means to destroy something. It's no more good for anybody. I didn't steal it. I didn't kill it. I didn't want it for myself. I didn't want you to have it either. So I crushed it to the ground. Do you see that? Now you see some guys like that, right? And you think like, man, what did you get out of, we had this good thing going. What did you get out of stomping it to the floor? Now it's no good for nobody. You didn't get nothing out of it either, right? That's because they're destroyers. Okay? I am come that they might have what? Life. Pro-life, fam. I came so that y'all can have life. That's the key word. That's what the Most High produces. Life, not death. Okay? Death is the absence of him, right? Death is he don't got to kill nothing. All he got to do is take his presence and it's over. You can forget about it, right? I came so that they could have life. What's like the Holy Spirit, right? You ever seen Bernie's, right? Night at Bernie's or whatever that is. They got the dead man, but when he hears music, he be dead, and then he come to life when he hear music, right? Y'all ever seen the old school movie back in the 80s somewhere, right? Life, y'all. I came that they might have life. Anything moving has life in it, which is the Holy Spirit, fam. Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's. You got it out. That movie. Check out when they cut the music, he just dropped. They turn the music back up and he start bouncing and start getting up. I came that they might have life, y'all. And that they might do what else? Have it more abundantly. So you're going to have a whole bunch of life. You're not going to just have life. You're going to have it abundantly. And that's why Christ came. Okay? And we're going to see where he got that idea from. 11, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. So for all of y'all to jump up and bounce like that, I, Christ, am going down. You see that? And no greater love have what? A man than this, that he lay down his life for. All right. Sorry, fam. Generator shut down. Had to put some more gas in the generator real quick. All right. Where were we? Get back. Oh man, that was starting to flow. So what abundantly? What's that highlighted word? Abundantly. I am the good shepherd. Okay, the good shepherd give his life for the sheep. Where did he get that idea from? Right? Got that idea from his John right here. Now y'all see how that came about? And John spake in the spirit, saying, behold, the Lamb of God, the good shepherd, which giveth his life for the sheep. You see that? Oh, man. And now we have him in the book of Luke. That's where this comes from, right? Or in the book of John. Now, you see why it's in the book of John? Right? And John spake in the spirit. Right? John 10 and 11. Ain't that beautiful? So tell me these books don't belong in the Bible, fam. Okay? Nah, they took it out because you tie it together to make too much sense. And they won't be able to put up Paul the liar who didn't roll with the disciples, never met Christ, who inserted himself in this, that, and the other, right? They don't get to use him like that if they lead us there. So you could see how they took the Bible and they made it fit their own narrative, right? Now a truth gonna hold up to whatever scrutiny you put it through. And that KJV don't hold up, fam. We keep all of the KJV except for them blood sacrifices in the Old Testament and the way that they played with that law, okay, to make this blood sacrifice, this voodoo, to make it acceptable everywhere, from New to Old Testament, right? A lot of this stuff is going to have that in there because they slipped, y'all. They slipped and they left a lot of this stuff in there. They didn't take it out, but at the same time, we get them putting stuff in, and it don't make sense. Is God a killer or not? And they'll have him as both in these books. So you can see where they made their mistakes at, right? Mistake, okay? A lamb chop. You see what I'm saying? A mistake, okay? That's a boo-boo, a steak, okay? Wasn't supposed to happen. Yikes. Oh, watch out now, okay? Wasn't even ready for that one. But yeah, that's how it got off in here, fam. They made that KJV to fit Paul and his narrative and the direction he wanted to take things in. So all throughout the book, you gotta watch out for how they inserted that blood sacrifice, that voodoo ritual, and you gotta watch out dealing with Paul. Okay? Now, when you dig, you're gonna find all of the places, okay, where Paul wrote this stuff, y'all, right? And whoever hit me up in the right attitude, I'll share with you. I share my sources. Or if you just wait around here long enough, I'm bringing this different things out of these books, right? But if you see me publicly speaking with somebody, I don't know you, I never spoke to you or none of that, and off the rip, you get at me sideways and all of that, and you get to talking with me, and then now all of a sudden you want my information. Like, well, wait a minute. Like, well, hold up. And then you want to try to ask me, well, where's your sources and what? Nah, that ain't the way I share information. It's too late. You already spoke as somebody who knew already, so you keep on knowing then. Okay? And right? And that's just how I feel about that, because I don't want my pearls trampled on. Okay? That ain't who you throw your pearls to. Right? Nah. I'd rather throw my pearls at somebody who's gonna take them in the bosom like this and do what's supposed to be done with them, you know? And that's the way we make relationships and this and that. I ain't doing nothing for these other cats. Nah. People who know everything don't learn nothing. That's the way it goes. Okay? And Judas was troubled at these words, for he knew that he should betray him. Okay? Judas was the one who was going to give him up. So all of this talk about the shepherd giving his life for the sheep, made Judas uneasy. But again, Judas said, Master, is it not written in the law for a lamb must be slain for the Passover within the gates? Okay? So he want that lamb killed. You see how eager he is for something to die? And that's the way these guys are even today. You know, when I got into a certain position where my heart could be reached by the Most High, and I heard this information, I felt so bad. I felt so bad that anything ever died for me to fill my belly, right? All of that regret for the times I should have felt it in the past. It leaned on me, right? Hey, and Jesus answered, if I am lifted up on that cross, then indeed shall the lamb be slain. So now you see what we lost when we lost Christ. And that's why we have gone down for the past 2,000 years, right? And that's why our luck is bad. And that's why the Father is telling us all throughout this book, no, I don't want nothing to do with you. What's the reason that he's giving? Because your hands are full of blood, right? And here we are down here crying, Father, please. Father, help us. Father, we're the 12 tribes. We're this and that. We're Judah. You like, yeah? Yeah, with all that blood on your hands. All that blood on your hands, yeah? So let's see how bad y'all want this. Are you willing to give that up? Because that's his problem. And they masked it throughout the book. From Genesis to Revelation, they masked it, fam. But you go here and you read this stuff like this, and then you could go back into the KJV with this knowledge and just chop them to pieces where they did what they did to make it true. Right? Yes, he cares. Yes, he cares, fam. Imagine you're that animal and you looking around and you know they finna kill you. Those things have thoughts and facial expressions and everything else. And they be scared. And that's what's wrong with our emotions and stuff, because they release all that cortisol into their blood, and then you kill it after they release all that cortisol. And then that's why we got no control over our emotions. We eating cortisol, fam. We eating the hormone that causes fight or flight. Fight or flight. You know what fight or flight is. If I'm just chilling right here, right now, and this whole side of this wall over here just boom, and I'm just, what do I do? Do I fight? Do I flight? What do I do? Right? And that's the state you be in, eating all this beef bacon and steaks and turkey lunch meat and chicken and, you know what I'm saying? Burgers. That's what you going through. You eat that stuff, your blood pressure is sky high. You know what that means when you got blood pressure? Your blood pressure is high because your body think that you're in a crisis, and you are. Because that animal was that you ate. Okay? It was looking around and scared, and it noticed it's getting separated from the rest of its other parts. And you took it in the corner somewhere and slit his throat. Have you ever seen that? I reckon you guys go watch that at least once. They be on the ground on their side trying to run and stuff. They lose it, right? That whole time, their blood is just filling up with cortisol. Okay? They trying to run on their side. They be making noises and stuff sometimes. You know? Let your little girl see that. And tell me what type of daughter you got by the end of the night. Okay? If that's righteous. Okay? If that's righteous. I guarantee you, okay, you're not supposed to be doing it. Blood is blood, and once that cortisol get in it, it's in there. And they talking about, oh, there's a flavor. There's a lot of flavor. No, that's blood, okay? They said, okay, well, we're going to boil all the blood out. And they boil all the blood out of it to where it's swollen and pale. And they don't want to eat that, fam. That flavor is coming from the blood, okay? But let's read on. And John spake in the spirit, saying, behold, the Lamb of God, the good shepherd, which giveth his life for the sheep. And Judas was troubled at these words, for he knew that he should betray him. But after Judas said, right, but again Judas said, Master, is it not written in the law that a lamb must be slain for the Passover within the gates? 8. And Jesus answered, if I am lifted up on the cross, then indeed shall the lamb be slain. But woe, key words, just as the book of Essenes says, okay? But woe unto him by whom it is delivered unto the hands of the slayers. Wow. Okay? Ain't that what he said also in Matthew 18? It'll be better if a milestone was tied around his neck and he was drowned in the depth of the sea. Is that not what he said in that precept? Okay? It were better of him to never been born. Yikes. Yikes. Okay? Y'all want to keep playing with that? I hear that loud and clear. And whatever the subject matter is, when Christ says something like that, me being a follower of him, I'm stopping, y'all. I don't know what y'all I don't know what y'all doing. I'm done. Okay. Just give me the strength to stop, Father, and I'm gonna work at it as long as it takes, and I'm going to stop. Okay? 9, verily I say unto you, for this end have I come into the world. For this reason I was born and came into the world, y'all, so that y'all could stop killing this stuff. There is no other reason why Christ came. Oh, man. And now you see how we've been missing the whole point? Now you see how they could give us a whole KJV and not care what ends we tie together with it. Long as we don't understand this whole reason why Christ came, y'all. Wow. Okay? 9, verily I say unto you, for this end, so at the end of all of this, for this reason, what? Have I come into the world, y'all, that I may put away all blood offerings, right? The eating of the flesh and the beasts and the birds that are slain by who? By men. Wow. Okay? This is the whole reason why I was born, is to get rid of this blood sacrifice. And I talk to these guys and they say, you're right, he did come. Because now we don't got to kill the animals because he died once. Now we don't have to kill anything else. Right? Not true. Not true, because you're still slitting throats. You're still slitting necks. So he's still not going to be satisfied. He came so that you could stop doing that. Did he come for you to slit his throat? No, that's not why he came. He came to speak the real out here. He came to speak the real out here so that we know what our trespass is in the heavens. And the Most High is like, keep your blades off of my animals, my other creatures. Okay? That's the reason he came. Now, what happened to him up on that cross? He didn't get his throat cut, did he? No. He got hammered to a cross. He got stuck in his ribs. He got stuck in his sides. He got stuck in his side. That ain't even how they do no sacrifice. They don't put a sacrifice up on no cross. Okay? That don't even match. No. No. Okay? That I may put away all blood offerings. Okay? And the eating of flesh. What about that part? And the eating of flesh. So you know what they did? Oh, them books ain't nothing. Forget them books. That's a heresy. And that's a blah blah. Right? Who? The Romans. The Romans, y'all. The Romans linked together with Paul. Okay? Now, the Romans back then bought that whole priesthood. The priesthood sold out, fam. Jeremiah 8:8. Okay? Sold out. You couldn't trust them. They wanted to be like the other folks, y'all. Okay? So they latched on to that life and they became buddies with them. So it's the same thing like today. Who hanging out with Donald Trump? You better not trust him. That's the Paul of back in them days. Okay? Your Al Sharptons. Okay? Your Jesse Jacksons. Okay? Your Obamas. They look like us. They're not for us. Right? Yes. Right? Paul wasn't broke a day of his life. Okay? He was wrecking ships left and right. Okay? Having a ship back in that time was like having a skyscraper downtown. I said that before. So why didn't he donate not even just one of them joints? He would have delivered the whole Galilee. Okay? Why he didn't do that? Why we don't have him doing that? Why he ran from the disciples for 14 years before he tapped in for the first time to meet James. And it was only because, he was trying to get stamped. For 14 years, he was hearing nonstop, but what's up with James? Oh, you one of them apostle guys? How's James doing? He didn't even know James for 14 years. Going all over everywhere else, taking over the whole world with his false doctrine. And those people were telling James, yo, it's this guy named Paul. He's teaching this and teaching that. James had to send spies. Because every time they upbraided Paul, like Acts 15, he told them, I ain't teaching that, right? I wasn't teaching nothing like this, right? So, man, it's deep, fam. How do I get that? In these other texts, in these other gospels. Okay? In these other gospels. Let me name y'all off some books to read. Locate these books, fam, and read them. It's a book called James, the Brother of Jesus. Get it. It's a book called The Uncle. Let me put it in here so y'all know how this stuff is spelled, right? James, the Brother of Jesus. Go get that. Okay. The Onkelos. Get you an Onkelos, right? Get you a Eusebius. Right? Get you a Eusebius. That portion of the Eusebius is called the church history. Get yourself that. Okay. Get the copper scrolls. Get the copper scrolls. Just some books. Tell me what you find. Right? The Travels of Peter. You want to read about Peter? You ain't read the Travels of Peter? Letter of Peter to James. Okay, upon reading these, you know that the book of 1st and 2nd Peter are forgeries. Okay? The Didache, which is the teaching of the 12, definitely need you one of those in your arsenal. That's the New Testament of the 1st century. Okay, that's what they was reading and putting their churches together behind. Right? Yes, yes, yes. You definitely need you a Gospel of Thomas. Okay, you need you a Gospel of Thomas. You need you a Nazarene, Acts of the Apostles. All right, so let's get back to it. All right, how many books is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9. Let's do one more. Let's pick one more for y'all to get. Let's put 10 books up. Right? Josephus, y'all been knew about that one. Antiquity of the Jews, we known about that. Oh man, I can't wait to go into this quail deception, right? Okay. We're gonna do the book of Q, which is Matthew and Luke coming together on a book, on a gospel, and on a testimony, right? That's Matthew and Luke. It's called the book of Q. Now we got 10 books up, right? 10, in the beginning, God gave to all the fruits of the trees and the seeds and the herbs for food. But those who love themselves more than God or their fellows corrupted their ways and brought diseases into their bodies. Oh, and filled the earth with lust and violence, y'all. How? Beast tendencies, fam. Okay, that's how a beast behaves. Shedding innocent blood, therefore, but by living a righteous life shall ye find the peace of God. So you got to stop all of that. You got to stop shedding the blood, and that will stop you from doing the other crazy stuff you do, the other crazy thoughts you think, Obviously, it's a certain type of person who behave the way they behave toward brethren and sisters, y'all. They don't care about you. Okay? They don't even know it's wrong to hurt your feelings right now. They'll say anything to you. They'll watch you be dead any kind of way, right? That's why I didn't get no love in the Hebrew community. Nobody hardly checked on me, right? The people who I expected it from, I never got it, y'all. They never called me and said, hey, man, I hear what they saying about you out there. You all right? Right? Cold-hearted, man, that blood. And they're the people who take it the coldest. They take it the hardest. When you tell them, hey, you got to stop with the stakes, they lose it, fam. They got some crazy attachment to Paul, too. Paul keeps them double-minded and stuff. They can't rise and become best friends with God because they have a weight pulling them back down, right? And they want to stay loyal to Paul for what? You don't know, dude. This dude was 2,000 years ago. This dude is the Jesse Jackson or the Al Sharpton of 2,000 years ago. What is the connection you have with this dude, calling him unc and stuff? And man, that ain't your uncle. Dude didn't care two thoughts about us. Okay? Yes. Oh, man. 11, not by shedding innocent blood. So you got to stop. That ain't how you going to get it. You ain't going to get it by shedding no innocent blood. Who told you that? Who told you that Christ's blood was a sacrifice for you supposed to take away some type of sins or something? Okay? Not by shedding no innocent blood. The Father ain't got nothing in that. Okay? It does nothing for him. Therefore, but by living a righteous life now, and that's what Christ taught. You can't find him nowhere saying shed this blood and you're going to be fine. But guess who you can see saying that left and right? Paul. Oh, that's who you can find talking this blood magic, this voodoo blood magic talk. Nah, that don't do nothing. He don't care about you spilling some blood and then staying as unrighteous as you are. He said right there, but by living righteous shall ye find peace of God. Okay? In that you will find your peace with the Most High. And nothing feels better than that. Okay? Oh, man. Ye call me the Christ of God, and ye say well. Okay? So if you call me the Christ of God, you be right, he's saying. For I am the way, the truth, and the life. Right? 12 right here says, right? Walk ye in the way. And that's what the first Christians were called. Followers of the way. Who is the way? Christ. Okay? He's not only the way, he's the truth and the life. He's going to lead you back to all of that. Right? Walk ye in the way, and ye shall find God. Wow. Seek ye the truth, and the truth shall make you free. There's John 8:32. Okay? Now, if you should find your book to be a lie, you still gonna ride for that book? Who you gonna give up? The Most High or the book? Okay? Who made that book? The infallible word of God. If you know it comes out of the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, who decided to follow something else, then what did they give you? if they don't follow it themselves. It's time to start connecting these dots. Now, the Bible is good, but the Bible is built of scrolls, fam. Now, in one chapter, you could have done jump 3, 4, 5 scrolls. Okay? And the Roman Catholic Church is picking these scrolls and making them a chapter. Okay? Where are they getting these scrolls from? Okay? And is any of them just a scroll that they written themselves and slammed in there because it lined up with their agenda? And it never should have been in there. Okay? You see that? I can sense that now. I can read a chapter now, and it might have 38 verses, and I'll get 13 verses and then read verse 14 and say, nah, that just changed author. That's another author. From here to there, that's another author or another author, right? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Walk ye in the way. So what is the way? Life. The way, the truth, the life, right? They can't break you from that. I don't care what book they pull out. What is the way? That's the path. What is the path? Life. What is the truth? Life. Okay? Yes, yes, yes. What is the life? Life. Being alive. The one who gave you life. It wasn't his will that you be dead, or he wouldn't have made you. Okay? If you made it till today, it's because that was his will for your life. It's something trying to kill you every day. Okay? It's something trying to put you down, trying to down you in the worst way every day. But you didn't even find out because what is it? The way. The way is life. You're weaving. You step to the left right before something happened, right? You got in your car and took off. You got a phone call. Hey, we over here. Oh, okay. Right? And something that was meant for you didn't catch you because of what? The way, the path. The path is life, right? Live in the life. We're here, right? Live in the life, y'all. And ye shall see no death. So you mean to tell me every meal you put in your body, some had to die, and then in the end you gonna have life? No, it don't work that way. Okay? Live in the life, and ye shall not see death. All things that are alive in God and the Spirit of God filleth all things. So what right do we have to cut the neck of something? Okay? Keep ye the commandments. What commandment? Well, thou shalt not kill is a good one, and we know what kill means. But let's not put the cart before the horse. We'll get there. Love thy God with all thy heart and love thy neighbor as thyself. Those are the two ways, the way of life and the way of death. The dedicate starts off with it, right? Hey, stop y'all noise, right? On these hang all the law and the prophets. So you're looking at a scroll that said, oh, that's a good one right there. And boom, they put that in the New Testament. It's coming out of these books that they tell you to stay out of, right? And some of the law is this: do not ye unto others as ye would not others should do unto you. So you don't think that includes animals? right? That animal need mercy, fam. That animal need mercy, and it's looking to God to, can you please get these people off me? Please don't let them slit me with that thing, right? And every day, man, you know how many animals die for the sake of our belly? And they just putting that blood back into the soil, okay? And we know that affects the earth because we seen how Abel's blood cried out to the Father. It affects the earth, okay? And it knocks the earth off kilter, right? Facts, y'all. And that's why the world is the way it is today. It's all of this bloodshed. It's all of this slaughter, okay? And all of these souls going to Satan. That's who benefits. Father created them. They come from him. So what good do they do to go back to him? No, they ain't going back to him. They are called sacrifices. And sacrifices go to the devil, y'all. And when it talks about your food and it calls it the name sacrificing food, sacrifice to idols and all of this, man, that's what it's talking about. Okay? Do not ye unto others as ye would not that others should do unto you. Okay? Whatever you don't want done to you, don't do. Or else you put that in your cards, it's going to happen to you. Right? Here we are. Oh, Father, please, please, Father. And Father is like, oh, you didn't feel that way about that lamb, about that cow, about that bullock you had slaughtered, right? To feed you a steak every night and ribs and burgers and right? Oh, but what about those plants? Those plants is no, no, no. You can't say that because he gave us that for that purpose. Let's go to it. He said, this I gave you for meat. He never said I gave you the animals for meat. He just said he gave it to us for us to use it. He said he gave it to us for us to use it. It's a lot of ways to use an animal without killing it. All right? So we're going to whip that out real quick and read it. Slide that off in there. All right. Blow that up a little bit. That at about. And God said, this is Genesis chapter 1, by the way. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed. Okay, so the herb, that's the leaf on the end, that's the stem, that's the root. Now, bearing seed, that's the fruit, fam, which is upon the face of all the earth. Okay? And every tree in the which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed. Okay? To you it shall be for what? Meat. What is meat? Food. Okay? The meat is the inside flesh of any organism. Right? It shall be it shall be to you for meat. Okay? Now what he say about the rest? 30. And to every beast of the earth and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth. We know he don't want us eating everything that creep upon the earth. Okay? So he's not telling us to use these things for meat, fam. Okay? Wherein there is life. Everything, okay, so the beast, the fowl of the air, the creeping thing upon the earth, wherein there's life in it, I have given every green herb for meat. One question. Is a beast a green herb? Fowl of the air, is that a green herb? Crickets and stuff creeping upon the earth. Is that a green herb, fam? Okay? Is it life in those things? Absolutely. Do they walk and crawl around? Okay? I have given every green, he went back to the green herb. So, guess what they're doing? They're taking information out. That's why this don't make sense. Because it went straight to the beast, fowl of the air, the creeping thing, right? In them there is life. And then all of a sudden, it goes back to what it already said. Already said this up here. You didn't need to say this twice. You better believe it's something about right here that they took out. Now, if you go, this is unplanned. This is totally unplanned. But I can take you to where? Okay? It's a lot of books. And I forgot which one it's in, but I'm going to find it for you. And I'm going to bring this back up again. There's another book to where this area right here, there's something that goes there. And he's going to say, I have not given you these things for meat, right? And then it's going to, after it say he didn't give you that for meat, then it's going to come back to this and say, I have given every green herb for meat. Okay? And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Okay? He's a man of order. So if it was the day first and then the evening, then he would have had it in that order. Nah, he said the evening first. Because the day actually starts in the darkness. That's a whole nother subject. But check it out. And God saw everything that he made. And behold, it was good. That's the way he wanted it. He wanted it that way. He called it good, right? He called it good. What? That everything bearing seed and the herbs and the trees, this is for meat. Now, the beast and the fowl of the air and the creeping thing, this was not for meat, man. Which meat and food is the same word. Okay? Now, let's get back to this gospel of the whole 12. Finish that out, right? Do ye unto others as ye would that others should do unto you. So that includes these animals, fam. Okay? You can't slit an animal's throat or even hurt an animal or do anything to an animal and then expect to just walk off and continue having a good day. Ask me how I know. Okay? I have done things to animals, and the rest of my day was horrible. I can recall it. My luck was bad. Okay? These are facts. Right? 14. Blessed are they who keep this law. Okay? What law? do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. Okay? The first strong two, love God, thy neighbor as thyself. Okay? That one. For God is manifested in all creatures. No, not in them animals. We could kill them animals. Who cares about an animal? Right? That's how they feel out there. No, I want me. Forget these animals. Oh, they're so disgusted. Who are you trying to stand up for some worthless, right? Oh, shut up. Let the animals be killed. They got no compassion for these things, right? But somehow the Most High is supposed to have compassion for you, okay? And in order for somebody to have compassion and mercy upon you, you have to be defenseless. Just as defenseless as those animals are, right? That's your whole test, family. When you was in the seat of somebody who could grant mercy, like you were over those animals, did you grant them mercy? You're going to see. What are you going to do before the throne when you say, yeah, Father, I should get mercy. Don't I got some mercy, Father? What you going to do when he say, did you give all that steak mercy? And I sent my people to talk to you too. Remember how you acted when they came at you about all of this sacrificing you was doing? Yikes. Yikes. That's the same position we are in to him. The same way, the same position that animal is in to us. We have every choice right now to still eat and get full and spare those animals as the Most High, has the chance to spare us and grant us mercy. See that? Reading on. All creatures live in God. Have I gone crazy, fam? Or have I become more compassionate? Okay? And is my heart feeling more? Okay? Oh, Bronze is going crazy. He talking about this and talking about that. And what would you say is worse? The old guy who kept a big pan of barbecue, or this guy who is now granting this mercy, right? Why? It's highlighted for me already. All creatures live in God. Let's get some more. And God is hid in them. You can't see God in those things? Well, guess what? If you come off of the cortisol, maybe you could. Okay. Maybe you could. All right? You raise up in that spirit. I'm telling you, Father reached down into the earth and grabbed you when you get about this lifestyle, friend. I never dreamed that these many people would put the flesh down based on something that I'm doing or saying. I never imagined that, fam. And people are being nursed back to health. Oh, man. Yikes. Yikes. Okay? 15. After these things, Jesus dipped the sop and gave it to who? Judas Iscariot. Okay? Saying, what thou doest, do quickly. Remember, he said, who I give the sop to, that's the betrayer. Right? So he sopped that bread, he gave it to Judas, and told him, right? Because Judas is who he's talking to. Judas is who he just said all of that stuff to. Everything we were just talking about just now. He said this to Judas, fam. Look at what he's saying. Blessed are they who keep this law. What law? Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. And this includes animal. He's talking about an animal, right? The Passover lamb that he let go while they're having the conversation. That's what he's talking about. What was supposed to be the Passover lamb. Okay? For God is manifested in what? All creatures. And all creatures do what? They live in God. Okay? So yes, he is in that docile animal. He didn't mean for you to slaughter that animal. Okay? God is hidden in them. Okay? So that means, at the naked eye, God ain't going to appeal to you when you look at a goat or a sheep or a cow. It's hidden right here. Okay? It's hid. So if you ain't linked to him, you ain't going to feel that. You're going to do people how they do me when I bring this up. Oh, they're so sensitive about their chops, fam. Soon as I bring it up, I'm a dead man. Okay? I'm dead to them immediately. Okay? Some of them stuck with me through what I went through with the elder and everything, all of that, right? We were still rolling, 1-1. This right here, these brothers tripping, right? After these things, Jesus dipped the sop and gave it to Judas, saying, "What thou doest, do it quickly. Hurry up and go do what you need to do. Hurry up and turn me in," right? He then, having received the sop, went out immediately, and it was light. Okay? So, and it was light out. Okay? Now, by the time it was dark again, that's when everything kind of went down, right? And they gaffled Christ up or whatnot. But 16, and when Judas had gone out, Jesus said, "Now was the Son of Man glorified among his 12. Okay, like he wasn't one of the 12. Now that we got him out of here, okay, we can congregate and fellowship as the 12 disciples in Christ. Okay, and guess what? And one of them was a female. Okay, we saw the list of names back there. Jude was one of the 12 disciples. Okay, so shout out to y'all talking about the woman ain't nothing and this and that. Let her be quiet in the churches and right, all of this type of stuff like this. If she's a wise sister, she got her head screwed on right, she ain't gonna have us killing each other up in the church, then she could talk. Okay? Let her speak. You know? But hey, she get up, she loud, she obnoxious, she tripping. Man, take her to the side, sit her down. Whoever her husband is, take her home. Okay? Whatever the case is, like that. But you get to pick and choose that. That's what you should be picking and choosing. Okay? Jesus said, "Now is the Son of Man glorified among his 12. Judas wasn't one of the 12. Guess who else wasn't there? Paul. Okay? And God is glorified in him. And verily I say unto you, they who receive you receive me." So I'm bringing you Christ now, who said all this stuff. Okay? Who said all that. All right? Leave these animals alone, man. Okay? Something shouldn't have to die every time you get hungry. Okay? That's of the devil. And it's Paul's doctrine that made it impossible for us to be able to speak those very words that I just spoke. And this is why we're discrediting Paul. And we're showing you where Paul is faulty and a false apostle and a liar and everything else and don't belong in this book. He never belonged in this book, fam. Okay? Why are we reading his letters and what he told these churches that he went and built for 14 years while James didn't even know nothing about him? When James is the one who puts the disciples on. If that ain't climbing up another way, like John 10:10 or John chapter 10 talks about, then I don't know what is. Okay? And if something's wrong with your mind and you can't see that and you can't compute those two, then I feel sorry for you too. Okay? Just clean out your desk. Go ahead, clock out. Okay? Your check will be in Wednesday. Okay? Your last check. Okay? Because you as a watchman, you fumbled this one and you dropped the ball. Okay? Yes, yes, yes. Woo-hoo. It's a new day. You can't sell us any old Bible you want to anymore. We're picking and choosing our own canon. Those trash books that you put in that KJV, we're tossing those. And we're putting into our own KJV what fits our lifestyle and what we're getting ready to build up and what's going to keep us safe, mind, body, and spirit, right? The way, the truth, and the life, and in health. And it's going to equal all life because that's the Most High's character. And when you have the Most High's character, you get to weave through all of the traps that they set. When you know the Father, you latch onto the Father and hold on to his coat, okay? And they can't get you with this tomfoolery that we just been busting left and right. We've been busting them, y'all. Okay? They can't hold us with this. They can't hold us with this junk. This is their correction. Okay? Now, upon them seeing this and hearing this, they're going to turn up the heat like, okay, if we going to survive this, we better turn it up right now. They're going to understand, right? Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. And when Judas had gone out, Jesus said, now is the Son of Man glorified among his 12, and God is glorified in him. And verily I say unto you, they who receive you, receive me. Okay? And they who receive me, receive the Father, Mother, who sent me. Okay? The Father and the Mother who sent him, fam. That's the Most High and the Holy Spirit, okay, who sent me. And ye who have been, been faithful unto the truth shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, that's what he said to his 12 disciples, fam. So how you going to call Paul an apostle? He already got his 12 right here. How? Right? It's a book called The 13th Apostle talking about Paul. Get that. Okay? What's wrong with you guys, man? You guys are something, man. You guys are something. Oh, stay away from me. Okay, I know I'm a man of the love and all of that. I will love you from a distance. Okay? I don't want none of that rubbing off over here. Okay? All of that far away from me. Okay? I love you. I promise you I do. I'll wire you some money in a minute. Whatever you need. Okay? But yeah, stay away from me. Okay? I don't need it. Right? And ye who have been faithful unto the truth shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. 17. And one said unto him, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore the kingdom of Israel? Watch out for what he tells them. Watch this, fam. And Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. Okay. Neither are all Israel which are called Israel. Why? Because you're going to keep slaughtering a steak. That's why. You have murder in your heart. That's why. You have blood on your hands. That's why your hands are full of blood. Okay? 18. They in every nation who defile not themselves with what? With cruelty. If you was a cruel person, Christ don't want you. So how you doing with them 9? That's the question. Okay? And if you're doing pretty rough with them, then, ain't no big deal. We just got to clean that up. That's what life is about. Figuring out what you should be chasing and then chasing it. Okay? That part. Okay? They in every nation who defile not themselves with cruelty. Okay? That's cruel. To grab something and slit his neck, cruel. For you to put some on your plate that you know that they had to grab his neck and slit it, that's cruel. For you to keep them in business, that's cruel. Right? They in every nation now. So this crosses all color lines. It crosses that. It don't matter what nation you come out of. Right? And they in every nation now, in every nation who defile not themselves with what? With cruelty. Who do righteousness and who do what? Oh man, I gotta highlight that. And who loves mercy. You gonna tell me you love mercy when some had to die every time your stomach growled? You know how many animals they killed every day to feed everybody in this earth? One time, you know how many bloodsheds gotta happen for that to be so? Do you know how your spirit lift up and raise up just because you're not taking part in that? You know? Or am I arguing back and forth with you guys who has never felt that before and don't know nothing about what that's about? How about you guys who haven't read none of these other records? All you've read is the KJV, which is the account of Paul. Have you ever heard anybody else's account or just Paul's? So that's an unfair conversation to you, okay? To you, not to me. I'm looking at a level playing field. You are like this. You cocked and tweaked, okay? I'm level. I got both sides of the story, which this whole book tells us to do. Get every side of every story. Understand first and then rebuke. And he who answers answer He who answers a matter before he has heard the cause, it is folly and shame unto him. And by two or more witnesses shall every word be established. Huh? And thou shalt not be a respecter of persons. Huh? Yikes. Yikes. So you just listened to Paul, ain't it? And kept on pushing. Time out for that, brother. Okay? But love mercy. Okay? And reverence all the works of God. An animal is the work of God. There's many a ways to use an animal. Put them on the side of your hill. Let them eat up all your grass. You don't need no lawnmower. Put some sheep over there. Okay? They'll eat all your grass up. Right? And they'll deliver you manure for you to grow stuff. Right? And then they'll fill up with that wool. And you could cut that off and make jackets and blankets and all kind of stuff, right? And they'll produce for you again and again and again. That's what he was talking about when he said use these animals. He wasn't talking about you just slitting their throat and making some chops. He wasn't talking about that. Okay? Y'all, now you see why? Can you tell now how that's not natural? You gave all of that up so you could have some type of chops. No, it ain't about you having chops. It's about you slitting that throat and spilling that blood, right? And then they would take the blood and drink it. And they would get a bunch on their hands and rub it like that and rub it into their face and say, it's good for the skin. And right? And all of this crazy stuff like this, and they let it dry up on their face. And they let the pores of their face eat it up, and they think it make them look younger and things like that. But that's only what they doing, you know, in your face. Now, behind closed doors, you ever seen Blade? How they laid him out and slit his ankle and slit his wrist, and all of his blood was running down into these trenches that was delivering his blood into cups and chalices and stuff. And they was just catching his blood with them chalices and passing it around, right? Like a 40 ounce or something. They're obsessed with blood, fam. Okay? They in every nation who defile not themselves with cruelty. So you're cruel, you're a mean person. Guess what? That defiles you. Okay? That makes you of no good to Christ. Okay? He can't do nothing with a cruel person. So all of y'all think it's cute to be a heavy-handed preacher and all of that and get out here cruel, and man, you defiling yourself with your cruelty. Okay? And they in every nation, don't matter. Okay? Who you are. Black, white, red, green, Chinese, okay? Judite, Caucasian, Esau, whoever. Don't matter whoever you are. They in every nation who defile not themselves with cruelty, cruelty defiles you. Who do righteous, how do you do right? How do you not defile yourself with cruelty and do righteousness? It's right here. You got to love mercy. That's how. And reverence all the works of God, who give succor. What is succor? Help. That word is help. Give help to all that are weak and oppressed. All that are weak and oppressed. Guess who that includes, fam? Animals. Okay? The same are the Israel of God. He just said, all are not Israel who are of Israel, right? We know that precept in the New Testament. This is where that's coming from. Okay? We're in the book of John, and it's left and right giving us scriptures out of the books of John and Luke, right? Yes, this is where those are coming from. Okay? But they told you it was a heresy. Why? Probably because they didn't want you to know how bad they were stealing out of it, right? To give succor. That's to give help, fam. Okay? 10, John 10 and 1 through 11. Let's get that. We got to get that from the jump. Because you should be able to clearly see Paul. Verily, verily, I say unto you that he who entereth not by the door into the sheepfold. How do you enter into the door to the sheepfold? The door is your entrance into the truth. The sheepfold is all the people who stand to hear your words when you get in there, right? How did Paul get to them? On his way to Damascus, he saw that vision. Did he go back to Jerusalem and link in with James how he was supposed to? No. He ran. He went to Asia Minor. He went to all of these other places for 14 years and built all of these churches, and then was trying to meet James after 14 years, right? Of already masquerading and operating as a disciple, y'all, and as an apostle. That's how he climbed up another way, right? He that entereth in by the door into the sheepfold, okay, that's coming into the truth. Into who? What's the sheepfold? That's the population of truth waiting for you when you get in, okay, to benefit off of your words and your help and things. So he who does that wrong and does what? But climbeth up another way. He didn't go through James. He came in another way. You see that? The same is a thief and a robber. Period. Period. I don't care how you try to slice that. Okay? He's a thief and a robber. Right? Verse 2. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. Right? So this person entereth in not by the door, which is through James. That's who Christ left the successor, right? But he who enter in the right way, okay, by the door, he is the shepherd of the sheep, okay? He is the shepherd. The shepherd, he's going to snatch up the sheep, and he's going to walk, he's going to go, and he's going to lead them right. And he care about their soul. And he don't care about no money. He don't care about no dollar amount. He don't care about no power. He ain't trying to take over their families. He ain't trying to make them bow to him. He trying to make them bow to Christ. Okay? And he wouldn't dare tell them a lie or something that's not true. Right? Or something that'll threaten, okay, their existence or their kingdom card, their eternal life. Verse 3, to him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice. Okay? Even though it's you talking, they know how to hear Christ. Okay? That's a man you can trust. You're going to hear Christ. He wouldn't harm nothing. Okay? And he calleth his own sheep by name and leadeth them out. Okay? Wow. 4, and when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them. Okay? And the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. I don't care who talking. You're supposed to be able to hear Christ. Anybody telling you that it's okay to shed the blood of anything is not of Christ. They're not of Christ. Because that ain't in the way, the truth, or the life. What part of that says death? The way, the truth, the life. The path, the truth is not a lie, and the life. Right? So what would be the opposite of that? Lost, lying, and dying. Okay? That's the opposite. So they're pushing on you for something to die and keep dying and to be lost. If you're killing something, you're lost. Okay? That is not the way of God. Okay? He said in John 10, he came so that we can have what? Life more abundantly. Okay? Oh, man. More abundantly means when you check in here, we just getting started, baby. You already got this life, right? We already walking around this earth. That's to have life. That's to have a breath of it. But to have it more abundantly, ask me how I know. Okay, I've been to the studio. I seen that. I saw the studio that all of this stuff come out of with my own two eyes. I don't know. I didn't have eyes. My eyes were still here, but I had sight, baby. You understand? Yes. Okay. Verse 5. And the stranger will they not follow? What stranger? You talking about Paul? So Paul is now, right? And you're following after Paul with all your might. It don't matter what nobody bring out on Paul. You won't read none of these extra biblical texts, and you won't come off of his lying doctrine that got you confused, don't know which way is up. You know why? Because you got to strictly hunker down all 10 toes and love the Most High and get rid of your double-minded, crooked ways. And I understand that a lot of us ain't ready to do that. So you hear what's being told. You hear what's being said to you. And you just taking your last few days to fool around, play around, okay, and act like you don't understand what's being said to you, which that's okay. That's cool. I understand that. I might have had to done that too. You know, I might have had to take who knows how long and get my head together, get my mind together. So I feel you on that. Okay. No condemnation here. Okay. Take your time, do what you got to do, but just know eventually, man, you got to change. Okay. And you got to adopt a loving heart, and you got to put down the stake, and you got to stop being what? Cruel. Okay. Cruel. Who defile not themselves with cruelty, right there. You got to stop being cruel. Okay? In every way. Because that's death. You don't just die when you get to death. No. Okay? This is zero right here. This is nothing. Now, if you go forward, you're working yourself toward the love, and that's life, right? But if you go that way and you go back, you're leaning back into death. What's that first notch right there? That first notch is any level of discomfort. So discomfort is on the death side of things, fam. This goes wrong. That goes wrong. I'm dead, right? This way, compassion, love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentle, right? Oh, you leaning into life. You get on plus 10. Oh, man. Am I talking crazy to anybody out there? Okay? I hope I don't sound too wild. But Hey, life this way, death, right? Death, y'all. Okay? 3, to him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, calleth his own name, and leadeth them out. 4, when he putteth forth his own sheep, he go before them, okay? And he'll lay his life down with them for them if he has to, okay? And the sheep follow him. The sheep follow him, for they know his voice. How? What is that, y'all? What is the voice? The voice is life, fam. Can't nobody sell you no death scriptures. When you know his voice and his voice is life, that's what I came back knowing. That's what I got back from the sapphire knowing. I looked around. Oh man, I had talked about these guys. We used to laugh and joke about these guys, right? In the GOCC. Oh, this guy's crazy. He wants the sun gaze. Look, this dude is walking around barefoot. Like what? I got back and I knew those guys were right. Okay. What I do? Kick my shoes off immediately. Okay. Nobody told me to do this, fam. I woke up like that. I had to get around some vegetation, y'all, some dirt, some earth, some trees, some bushes. Okay? It snapped. Okay? I had no attachment to the strange guys I had seen throughout my life. I didn't know the first thing about what they was on. You know? Not the first thing. I wasn't thinking about them when I got back here. I look back now and it's like, okay, this is what they were on. Those guys were right. Okay? So I know how it feels to say, man, this dude is tripping. I'm about to throw this barbecue tonight. I know how that feels. That was me. Okay? But you know what? The Most High wasn't ready for me yet. He wasn't ready for my heart yet. He's ready for it now. And we pushing this, okay? We pushing this thing. I don't care how many I got with me or not. Okay? Once I know the right thing to do, that's it. Okay? Verse 5, and the stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him. Like I fleed from Paul. Okay? For they know not the voice of stranger. That's a stranger to him. Okay, that's a stranger to me. I know everywhere Paul came from. I see him clearly. I know exactly who he is. Okay? Verse 6. This parable spake Jesus unto them, but they understood not what things they were. But they understood not which things they were, which he spake unto them. Then said Jesus unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. 8, all that ever came before me are thieves and robbers. Okay? But the sheep did not hear them. 9, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. Okay? So, he going in and out. He's free. The door is unlocked to him. Okay? So you're not locked in or out. You're free. You're free to roam around. You see that? The pasture, that's the outside grass. So you're out in the grass, right? You're chewing at the cud. You relax in the sun. You get up. You go back inside the barn or the sheepfold. right? You're welcome in there. That's a revolving door. It opens as you please, right? Now, that's where we get to verse 10. John 10:10 says, what? The thief cometh not, but to steal, kill, and destroy. That's how we get that verse. Okay? Is he a sheep? He's not a sheep, y'all. He's a wolf. He got no interest in laying out in that grass and chewing no cud. You see that? He just told you what our diet is. We're herbivores. Okay? We eat that. But what he come to do? Steal, kill, and destroy. He's going to slaughter us. He's going to slaughter this meat. He's slaughtering the sheep, fam. And he's stealing them. Like, wait a minute, I thought I had 300, now I only got 250. What's going on? Yeah, because he got 50 over there somewhere else. That's why steal is first. What's next? Kill. He cutting their throats. Destroy. What's the destroy? He's not taking them and he's not leaving them to you either. And he's not stealing them. They just coming up missing. You know? He's destroying them. Okay? So some of them he gonna put down, he can't even use them, right? He doing it for the fun of it. You see that? He don't even have to have no rhyme or reason for why he's destroying them. And that's the way these guys are, very wasteful, fam. It don't matter to him one way or another if what you're eating, right? But he'll jump in there and defend Paul and defend this slaughtering and sacrificing. He'll defend all of that. And you be asking yourself, like, whoa, what is this? Why must he do this? What, you know, what stake is this that he has in this thing? Key word right there. To destroy. It's the only reason he has, right? I am come that they might have what? Life. And that they might have it how? More abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd laid down his life for the sheep. So Christ is like, let me go first. Let me jump up on this cross then. Do me first, okay? Because you're going to do all the rest of us when you deceive us, right? And we go on eating this sacrifice and it's making us sick inside and putting us down, right? All of that's involved in this, fam. And when it's a hard kill, they putting us down. They putting us down out here, fam. All of the ways we leave this earth, okay? Now, when throw pole, tonos, that's how you say kill in the Greek, okay? Now, let's get the precept for John 10:10. We got footnotes that we follow. It take us from 10:10 to the footnotes, right? And it's taking you to John 8:44. Guess what, fam? Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye shall do. What was the devil's lust, y'all? He was a murderer. We pull that murderer out, right? Anthropotonos. And it's what? A manslayer, murderer. So that's of a man. Okay? So when the word murder is used, that's a man, and that's a man only. And if you slaughter a man, and you definitely ain't caring about slaughtering no animal. You see that? Ye are of your father who? The devil. And the lust of your father ye will do. What is the lust of your father? He was what? A murderer. For how long? From the beginning. All of this trouble started from Hashatan. Okay? And abode not in what? The truth. What is the truth? Life. I said it back there, right? The way, the truth, the life, all of that's life, fam. That's the secret that's going to be revealed. That's how you follow God. He's life. He's life. Anything that's being killed, it's not being done by his hands. Okay? He would rather you live or else he wouldn't have made you. Okay? He would have left you dead. Nobody can take from him what he makes alive. Okay? Now you get away from him and you part from him and you out there running around. You a sheep in the middle of nowhere surrounded by wolves. Okay? It's a wrap. You belong to them. You didn't belong to them when they caught you. You belong to them when you separated from him. Okay? Yikes. Yikes. Okay? And abode not in the truth because there is no truth in him. Okay? Now when he speak a lie, he speaketh of his own. Okay? Now he's speaking his heart. He'll tell you some truth, but guess what? It's something in it for him. And that's the only reason why he's giving you any truth. He needs to appeal to you. He needs to look good to you. He needs you to drop your guard and trust him. And that's the only time he bring in some truth. But he can't wait to do this, okay? When he speak a lie, now he's speaking of his own. Now he's speaking his life. Why? For he is a liar. And not only is he a liar, but he is the first one. If the truth is life, then what is a lie? It's death, fam. And everybody who lie, their life is coming to an end. Okay? So when you get that out the Strongs, it's G443. One meaning only. What meaning? Murder. That murder is manslaughter or manslayer in the slaughter of man. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you would kill a man, you don't care nothing about killing no beast, right? Now, when you go back to the law, in Exodus 20 and 13, what's the magic word there? Is it this one? Manslaughter, which is murder? Some translations say thou shalt not murder, which don't let you off the hook either. If you'll murder a man, then you definitely got the heart to murder an animal. But this right here say thou shalt not kill. And we know all kills is this one right here. To sacrifice, to immolate, to slay, to kill of the Passover lamb, and to slaughter, okay? To kill, to do sacrifice, to sacrifice, do sacrifice, and to slay. This is of an animal. So when it said that in the law, it was talking about an animal, fam. Yikes. This whole time, that was talking about an animal. So now you see why we in the middle of such bad luck each and every day. And it seemed like God is absent and like he's not helping us. And you can't think that that veers away from your original 9. Yes, this is a part of love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. Yes, it's a part of that. We're feeling more with our hearts. Of course, this is of the 9 fruits. It ain't something different than that. It's just at a stronger potency and level. You see this? Wow. Wow. Wake your heart up. Warm your heart up. He said, I will give you a what? A heart of flesh, fam. Oh, man, we got to get Jeremiah 31. Oh, we got to get Jeremiah. Now, y'all see it? Is this coming together for you? Okay? We want Jeremiah 31. 31. Let's get this. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, man. It brings a whole different understanding to this. The Most High said this stuff, man. We lie. We hear in the flesh and in the spirit. 31. But everyone who shall die of his own iniquity, right? But everyone shall die of his own iniquities. Okay? Hold on. Hold on. I didn't go back far enough. Let's go back one more. Right? Go back one more. In those days they shall say no more, the father hath eaten a sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge. 30, but every one shall die for his own iniquities. Okay? Christ didn't die for you. That would break this. Okay? That'll make this a lie. Both of them can't be true. Okay? It's one or the other. Nobody else can die for somebody else's iniquities, and then they sold you Christ doing that, and his blood being shed, and he hated the idea of any bloodshed, right? He didn't come in agreement. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and die for right, die for the sins of the people. Never. Nah, that was just a straight up murder, a manslaughter, right? 30. But everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth the sour grape, okay, his teeth shall be set on edge. Behold, the days come, okay, saith the Lord. So you could take your own mind and figure out what that sour grape is. There was something else that the Nazarenes did not touch, right? You remember what that was? It was something else that they did not touch. You see it highlighted? Strong drink, fam. Strong drink. Right here, they did what? They watered it down, ain't it? Yes, yes. They watered it down. They mingled it. Mingled it, fam. Strong drink. They mingled it with the water and the wine right there. Mingled wine. They watered it down. Okay. They wasn't with this. The sour grape. Okay. But everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge, and with the house of Judah, and with the house of Judah, right? So they made this new covenant and they made it involve blood and all of this type stuff. But we're going to have to read right here what the new covenant was. And you tell me if it says anything about some blood, okay? With the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of Egypt, which my covenant they break. Why did they break it, fam? What did we do exactly, y'all? Do you know exactly what we did? When you read in these scriptures, what did we do, fam? Did we do all of that other stuff? Or did we fool around with some sacrifices and make the Father mad? Right? And they put it like we was sacrificing men and babies and stuff. Nah. And pigs, nah. He was mad about any bloodshed. Which my covenant they break. Although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. Verse 33, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. Right? Saith the Lord, I will put my laws in their inward parts. I don't see nothing about no blood there, fam. No, I'm going to make them like me. I'm going to put my compassion in them. Okay? I will put my law in their inward parts. And what else he going to do? I will write. I will write it in their hearts. Okay? And will be their God and they shall be my people. That means we going to be one. That means we going to think like him. We're going to move like him. And none of this ain't happening while you're killing a beast. Well, at the whole time that he's creating a beast and you're killing a beast, you're on opposite lines of the fence, y'all. You're on opposite sides. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. Right? Saith the Lord. I will put my laws in their inward parts. I will write them on their hearts. They shall be my people. I shall be their God. Do y'all see that, fam? We can't put nothing there that ain't there. Okay? Let's read some more. Let's read a little bit more. Put a little bit more up in there. Where is the heart that he says that he's going to give us a heart of flesh? Right? That's what we want. Then we're going to get up out of here, fam. This is over. We just kind of running over right now. Right? We just kind of running over right now, but we're going to get up out of here. Because this is flowing real nice and tight. Okay? We're going to see. I need you to really check this out, fam. Oh, man, this is a nice way to end this. Pretty nice way to end this. Go on and shut this down for the night. Hope y'all enjoyed y'all Sabbath out there and whatnot, right? Yes, yes, yes. Glory be to the Most High. Right, 34, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. What does that mean? He's going to take away you guys who are wrong. He's going to take that speech out your mouth. And it ain't going to be what you say anymore. Because right now, whatever a brother say, that's kind of, if it sound good to you, you going to roll with it. At this day right here, that's over. And this is the beginning of it right now. Okay? And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, right? And every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall know me. What is he? Life, the path of life, okay? From the least of them to the greatest, saith the Lord, for I will forgive their iniquities. When he forgives your iniquities, he corrects you on what you're doing wrong that he doesn't like. You're able to do the right thing going forward and you please him and you guys come together like that, right? And I will remember their sin no more. I will forget about all of the beasts y'all killed, right? 35, thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars, right? For a light by night, okay? Which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name, okay? Let's jump down to Ezekiel 36 and 25. Then will I sprinkle blood like they said Moses did? Nah, he was never with that, fam. He never ordered that. That's why he's telling you, clear water. I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye will be clean, not blood, right? From all your filthiness. What filthiness? That blood. You ever smell blood? Okay? And it said Moses went in there and threw blood all over everything and sprinkle blood everywhere, the blood of the covenant, and all this crazy stuff never happened. Never happened. Okay? And if it did happen, it was against all kind of laws. And it was disgusting. Okay? In the Father's eyes, he did not like it. He's calling it filthiness right here. From all your idols. Those are idols. And those are meals sacrificed to idols, right? And from all your idols will I cleanse you. How? How? You gonna stop cutting throats. That's how. You see this? 26. A new heart also will I give you. And a new spirit will I put in you. Oh, man. You telling me your spirit changed and you still don't care about slaughtering the beast for its meat? Nah, you ain't changed. You still the same person. Okay? This is when something changed. Okay? This is when your heart is going to warm up. This is when you're able to grant mercy and feel for something else. And to understand, hey, it ain't this animal's fault. I was the one that was wrong. I shouldn't have never been, right, eating all of these sacrifices throughout my life. How do you repent? You stop doing something. They made you think it was by shedding blood. Okay, well, let me go cut some more necks, right? And let me pay my money at the meat market for the throats that are being cut. They told you the opposite. They help you be even more wrong. Oh, that's almost like a joke. Like, oh, you want to be forgiven? Give us more blood. What would they want for that? Okay? If they really don't want you to stop, what would they call for? Yeah, give us more blood. Right? What kind of vampires are these people, y'all? And a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh. That's a stony heart that just want to kill something and don't care that something is dying, for you to feel the same belly that you could feel in another way where nothing had to die. Ponder on that, okay? And I will give you an heart of flesh. That's a warm heart. Flesh ain't cold, huh? Nah, that's what he taking out. A stony heart, right? A stony heart out of your warm flesh. Okay? A stone it's a cold heart, is it not? And I will give thee a heart of flesh. So listen to these guys defend those sacrifices. You are listening to a heart of stone. Tell me you're not. Okay? 27. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, which is life. Don't kill nothing. Okay? Pro-life, anti-death. Pro-love. Okay? The Ebionite Essene Nazarene way. Okay? That's talking about, that's what his son was. Okay? That's what the Nazarenes was, who was ready to birth the Messiah and said, this ain't going to happen if we don't separate from these crazy Hebrews and stop slitting throats and go over here and eat a plant-based diet and cut out all this wine drinking, right? And get back on these fruits and vegetables and produce the kind of vessels that live to 130 again, or else we ain't getting this Messiah. And that's exactly what they did. They separated and they went up in them caves, right? And they ate right. And they stopped the sacrifices and they produced Christ. Okay? And caused you to walk in my statutes. That's his law. Okay? Not that Jeremiah 8:8 jump. And notice, this is Ezekiel 36. This is one of the last books. This is a late book, y'all. Right? This is a late book. We about to get up out of the Old Testament when we get into this book, right? This is where we made him the maddest at, and that's where he made all these covenants to patch things up with us. And it wouldn't happen immediately. We would have to live some life, right? Yes, yes, yes. Verse 27, and I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my real law, to walk in my statutes, right? Not my Jeremiah 8:8 law that they falsified, but I will cause you to walk in my statutes, in my ways, right? And ye shall keep my judgments. What judgments? He is all life, all the time, fam. It is never beneficial to him that anything dies. He put the blood in the thing for it to circulate through the body and give that thing life. Okay? That's what makes the Father smile. Something running around full of life and enjoying life and enjoying the earth, right? Because their blood is circulating in their body intact. You destroy all that when you cut the jugular and now it bleeds out. That's taking life away. Understand who you're walking with and why. Okay? Understand who you're serving. You know? I'm guilty too. I was guilty in the past. Okay? But I bet you I woke up from that sapphire and didn't want no meat. Didn't want none. Used to get sad when it was time for me to have to break. Keep a holy day with y'all. I really didn't want to. Okay? My holy days turned into something horrible. My holy days turned into, well, I guess it's time to get sick. Right? Yes, yes, yes. But guess what? And ye shall keep my statutes and do them. Shalom, everybody. I love y'all. Right? And we'll talk some more very near future. No, I ain't gonna tell you what to do. You kind of already heard what we ought to be doing, right? Yes, yes, yes. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The Most High is speaking to us, you know, and He is advancing these hearts. See what I'm saying? Yes, this is a part of the 9. It's nothing different from what we had going on with the fruit of the Spirit. This is the ultimate fruit of the Spirit. This is the ultimate granting of mercy. This is the ultimate cleaning up the vessel. Okay? This is the ultimate riding on the side of Christ. Right? Shalom, I love y'all. We speak soon. Peace, peace. All right?